Thanks for tuning into the Conscious Hour. I've been doing a lot of reflecting, and I want to give you a short synapse of really what we're witnessing. I've used the word many times, gangster capitalism. And if you think about the wars ever since Vietnam, it was based on lie. Syria, all the wars, all based on lies. What's it based on? It's based on Western imperialization. They basically want to go into their countries, steal their resources so the Western corporations can make massive profits so they can control the world. That's what they do. But there's a problem. And the problem is that now with the amount of social media that's around the world instantaneously, the cat's out of the bag. In other words, everybody knows, except Western media, because they don't want to report the truth, that Iran is not the problem. Iran has never been the problem. So, as an example, how many times have they said they're going to have a ceasefire, they're going to work on all these things, and everything's going to work out, and nothing happens? Well, you've got two negotiators that are Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner that's negotiating for the United States, and they're real estate developers. So the whole thing has been a stall tactic. And if for just for one example, the lies they've told you about Gaza, 680,000 Palestinians have been killed. Why? They're building a future up along the coastline, all the way through to Lebanon and parts of Syria. So now Iran. So what happens? The U.S. attacks Iran. And what are they attacking? They're attacking, listen very closely, and he'll tell you where it is. They're cutting off all the corridors, transportation corridors, to try to isolate Iran. They're trying to basically cripple their economy or collapse their government. This is CIA, Mossad, dirty tricks. Listen to this one. This is Pepe Escobar. Pay close attention to Danny Haifong. Watch Danny's show. He's a great, great, great interviewer and analyst. But Pepe Escobar hits the nail on the head. Listen to this.
To destroy a command and control center. This just touches the surface. You reported, Pepe, that some of the U.S. strikes have targeted railway. Iran is saying that major infrastructure, civilian infrastructure, has been targeted, including a railway between Iran and Turkmenistan that connects to China, the Chabahar harbor, the port, a key node for Russia, Iran, India transport, and the Mashhad-Tehran railway, which in Mashhad, the Ayatollah, Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei is, as we speak, being buried there now. So, Pepe, so much to catch up on. How about you help us understand? Maybe let's just focus on the last 24 hours and what makes day two significant as we see a restart of all-out war, at least teetering toward that.
Well, first of all, greetings, Danny, greetings all of you. I am at my new refuge in the garden in NATO-stan, which could not be more, could not be a deeper contrast to all the horrors around us. So here, at least we can maintain a little bit of sanity, but you enter the studio and you look at all the equipment and you see what's coming out, and it's hell. It's absolute hell. Well, we are all very worried about the perversity, the crassness, the stupidity, and how nefarious is the empire of chaos, plunder, piracy, and lies, of course. These bombings from yesterday to today, and they will continue, they are not only against so-called military installations along the Persian Gulf. If you look at what was bombed along the Persian Gulf, it's a lot. It starts near Karg in the west, and it goes all along to the port of Chabahar in the southeast, close to the Iran-Pakistan border. But the Americans are bombing civilian infrastructure, and very, very important, the connectivity corridors that are very important inside Iran and linking Iran with BRICS members, mostly Russia and India. So this post that I made, the internal bombing was crucial and extremely perverse, because this is the day where, since yesterday night, in the middle of the night, billions of pilgrims were taking the train from Tehran to go to Mashhad, because today in Mashhad is the burial the definitive burial of Ayatollah Khamenei and members of his family in the shrine of Imam Reza, which is one of the most extraordinary shrines on the planet. And of course, the Americans bombed the railway. What else? This is what Americans do in war. This is what the baboon of Barbaria loves to brag about. So this was bombing an inside node in a connectivity corridor inside Iran. But it goes way beyond that, because they bombed a bridge which is more or less 40 kilometers from the Iran-Turkmenistan border, which is part of the railway that goes from Iran, crossing the border to Turkmenistan, and then through the Central Asian stands to Xinjiang in Western China. This is the Iran-China Railway, which was bought and paid for and built by the Chinese. So this is the Americans bombing BRICS integration, Eurasia integration, with the Chinese angle. But they also bombed Eurasia integration with a Russian and Indian angle, which is bombing the port of Chabahar in Sistan, Balochistan, near the Iran-Pakistan border, not far from the port of Gwadar in the Pakistani side, 80 kilometers between them. And Chabahar...
So why they're doing this is they're creating a collapse of a potential threat to America and the West, which is this BRICS alignment and countries walking away from the West. So they're going after anything to isolate them. So this new world order that's tired of the Western military industrial complex, the gangster capitalists, they're trying to isolate everything because they still want control, and they think they're losing control if there's a new global order. Basically, it's ego. The West can't control it. They're freaking out, and they're using Iran as a tool to try to get what they want to accomplish. This is talking about Netanyahu and the military-industrial complex of the West to build out the Greater Israel Project. This has been on the books since 1948. Well, they are getting there, folks, because the world has come together. This is the Conscious Hour. This is part one. Please tune in to part two. Please hit the like button and the share button. That's most important. And leave the comments. Leave questions so I can interact with you. I promise I will respond to anybody that messages me. Thanks for tuning into the Conscious Hour. Hit the like and share button, and please donate.